What are some of the lowest prices right now on 2.5 inch and M.2 SSDs on Amazon? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. So SSDs have gotten really expensive right now. You guys probably know that. And if you look on Amazon or you go to some other places out there, you're going to see that they went up way in cost, maybe versus about a year ago. I don't see them coming down too much, but today we're going to be looking at both 2.5 inch and M.2 SSDs on Amazon to see what sales are out there right now and what do I recommend. Now, all the SSDs I'm going to be talking about, I think I've used about 85% of them directly. So I've actually had these in-house and used them. There's a couple that I haven't, but I know they're going to be good brands. Overall, though, I'm going to give you some kind of rogue or off the beaten trail brands that I've used that have actually been pretty good. And we're going to start with the 2.5 inch, but I'll have this video tagged if you want to skip ahead to the M.2s. But the reason I recommend sometimes using these 2.5 inch SSDs is because, for instance, like this isn't a carousel right now. I have a DAS over there, which I'm going to be doing a video on. It's actually direct attached storage. I'm going to be doing that soon, but you can use 2.5 inch for stuff like that. And they also never get hot, and you can use these for kind of short-term backup, and they're cheap. So this is a good option. So maybe stay tuned and watch this, because these are still good options because you don't deal with any heat on them, and they just work really well. Then I'm going to get into the M.2s. And again, I've had experience in a lot of these, but I'm going to show you some kind of off brands as well and some of the best costs. So without further ado, let's get into the video, and I hope you like it. All right, so let's start with the first one here. This one's actually a brand that I recommend. It's called Time Tech, and you can see it right here. It's an off brand, but I've used a lot of these, and they have really good ratings. You can see right here, what is this, a 4.6 out of 5? Anyways, this is a 10-pack of 256 gigabyte 10-pack of 2.5 inch SSDs. These perform fairly well, but they're just really solid overall. I've never had a problem with them. But this comes out to $18.90 per SSD, and they're 256 gigs each. So if you have a lot of small projects you like to do and you like to separate your SSDs, a 10-pack for $189. I'll have links to all this in my description, but this is a brand I recommend that you don't probably ever hear that much of, but they're actually pretty good. All right, let's keep moving down the list. As I said, I actually have this next one. I have two of them sitting right here just to prove that I have these right there. And you can see those. But long story short, look at my screen. This is the Team Group T-Force Vulcan, 2.5 inch again. Look at this. It's 500 gigabytes. Or actually, this one's 480. You can see it right here. 480 gigabytes, but $27.99 for this. And I'm actually going to be using this in my DAS. I'm going to be doing a video on that, but I'm going to be using a couple of those in that DAS over there, direct attached storage, which is actually going to be cool, so stay tuned for that video. But $27.99, this is Team Group, which is another good name that's kind of a rogue brand, but still, look at the ratings, 3,000 ordered, 4.7 out of 5. I have had zero problems with these drives. Very good. Let's keep moving. Another proof that I've used a lot of these drives, here it is right here, Inland. This is the Microsoft brand, basically, Inland drives. And these are, 2.5 inch. Here's a 3-pack, I think. 3 512 gigabyte SSDs, SATA 3, $105. So that's a really good cost for 3 512 gigabytes. Again, for a project like this over here where you're doing backups, or if you just want to separate your backup stuff from like pictures or videos or music, you can do it with this. And this is a good deal, and these things just are workhorses. I've never had a failure on this. Really good to work with. The next brand here, these are some good deals too. I have it sitting right in this case here. I'm using it to test some stuff over there. This is going to be the Team Group again, the AX2. I've talked about this multiple times. Right now they have the 512 gigabyte for $32.99. You can see it there. They also have a 2-pack. Let's see what the 2-pack is here. You can get two of them, $63.99. So for two 512s, so it's roughly about a terabyte, but you can separate them that way. That's another one I recommend there. And we're going to just keep moving down the list. So the next one is going to be this Patriot 512 gigabyte SSD. $33.99. Not a bad deal right now. Again, these are not going to be the fastest. These are only SATA. You're going to get that. Let's just see here. A lot of these come out to 550 on the writes, 500 on the reads. So basically, you're going to be somewhere in that 5 to 550 megabytes per second. But they're just workhorses. They work well for backups, not super long term. I usually move them to a spinning drive later. But maybe for a few years, they work awesome. Never had a problem with this brand either, at least this specific drive. Lexor, next one, $34.99, Lexor 512. It's another 512 gigabyte, 2.5 inch. But Lexor is a name that a lot of people don't know about, or at least they've never seen, like in the big box stores. A really solid brand. I mean, anytime I look at the reviews, and I've used two of these before, including M.2s, they're always got really high ratings. A lot of people order them, 8,500 orders here. They're just solid workhorses. So there's another good deal there. A couple more of the 2.5s, then we'll get into the M.2s. Here's the Silicon Power 512 gigabyte SSD. As you can see, I have that one. I don't know if you can see with the lights there, but right there, here it is for $34.99. Another good solid pickup here. I think these are okay. Let me just see here. What's the terabyte cost? $65.99. You know, you're getting up there for that brand, but I think this is a good deal if you just want a 512, $34.99. And let's just keep moving here. The next one's a PNY, and PNY right here. You can see it. There it is right there. Over on my screen, this one's $66.95 for a terabyte. So this is about where the kind of budget ones come in. Between 60 right now and 65, 70 bucks is what you're looking at for a terabyte 2.5 inch. And I know this is kind of a solid brand. Like I said, I've used this in the past. It's worked really well. And again, this has got 20,000 orders here, and it's got a 4.7 out of 5. So another brand that you may consider. All right, a couple other ones really quickly. Here's Patriot P210s, SATA 3s. 1 terabyte here, 10 pack of 1 terabyte. So you get 10 1 terabyte drives here, 520 bucks. So that comes down to 52 bucks for a terabyte drive each, but you got to buy 10 of them. And what would you buy this for? Again, these type of projects where you're using a whole bunch in a chassis over there, or if you just want to kind of back up year to year or something like that. 520 bucks is a lot of money, but there's a reason why you want to separate like this, and those are kind of the reasons you do that. All right, let's keep moving here. We got a couple, I think 1 or 2 more here in the 2.5s. Here's the Team Group QX 4 terabyte. So now we're in the 4 terabyte drives for 2.5 inch, maybe for backups or for storage, or you can even do some editing off this. They're still fast enough at 5 something, not the fastest, but they're going to get the job done. 197 bucks 99. I think that's one of the best, right now, the best sales I've seen on a 4 terabyte drive. So if you're looking at 4 terabytes and 2.5 inch, this is the one. Let's move now to the M.2s. All right. M.2, here's the first one I want to talk about. Obviously, these are faster, different form factor. Most people are more interested in this. Here's a Silicon Power 512 gigabyte A55. I've totally used this. I have a video on it. $34.99 for 512. And 1 terabyte's probably where the actual kicker is here. It's $56.99. And that's actually only, 1 terabyte here. Now, granted, this is the thing here. This is a SATA drive. So let me just take a step back. It's not an NVMe drive. It's SATA. You have to make sure it works with the SATA enclosure or whatever you're going to be using it for. The reason I recommend a drive like this is not for like doing stuff that needs super fast stuff, like maybe video editing, but if you just want solid backup, these don't get as hot as the NVMe drives because they're not as fast. This one can go up to just like that 550 megabytes per second. But overall, it's for 56 bucks. If you have the M.2 and you want to just have some basic storage, this is a good brand here. Let's keep moving here. Here's one. This is going to be a PCIe, so this is going to be the faster one, 512. This is a low power drive, but it's $37.99 for 512. So a half a terabyte, $37.99. This is the M.2 PCIe Gen 4. So this is not a SATA. This is the NVMe. So you're going to see down here, it goes up to 1,700 megabytes per second and about 1,100 megabytes per second on the writes. And that's going to be because it's a low power drive, cheap drive, but it's still fast enough for almost everything, including external enclosures that are only 10 gigabit per second, because you're only going to get like 900 megabytes per second anyway. All right. Let's keep going. Here's the TimeTech again, a name that I told you earlier, but here's another good deal. 2 1 terabyte M.2s right here, and you can see it. They're going to be 2820. That's the size of them, obviously. Now these are SATA drives. Again, SATA, not NVMe, so these are going to be slower, up to 550 megabytes. Cooler though, they run cooler. So these are going to be purely like more for backup storage and stuff where it gets the job done. But 109 bucks right now on this. So what is that? 54, 55 bucks a piece. 2-pack there. They sell them in all these weird configurations. Like here's a 10-pack. You can check them out. I'll have links to all this if you want to check these out. Kind of interesting where you can buy the pack and the price keeps getting lower. All right, next one here is the Kingston 1 terabyte, $60.99. This is about, what is it, 25% off. It used to be about 80 bucks. I don't know if I believe that, but 60 bucks, around 61 bucks is a good price right now for a 1 terabyte. This is going to be Gen 4. It's up to 3,500. So this is an NVMe drive, and you can see 60 bucks. So I've used this brand, Kingston. Again, it's somewhere in the middle. You can see here, it's 18,000 orders. A lot of people order this, 4.7. Not a lot of problems you're going to have with it. A very solid, well-tested drive. Obviously, let's keep moving. Here's a couple more rogue brands here. Here's the Team Group MP33 1 terabyte. Again, this is going to be PCIe Gen 3 times Gen 4. So this is going to be the faster drive, not the SATA, but the NVMe. So up to 1,800 and 1,500 on the reads and writes. So not the fastest drive, but again, you're paying $61.99 versus maybe $81 for more of the name brand. So if you're on a really tight budget, Team Group is a great, it has very little problems. I've tested probably 20 of them over the time I've been doing this. So not a bad thing at all. Let's just keep moving here. The next one, here's one that everyone recognizes, and they actually have it on 12% off right now. It's about 10, 11, 12 bucks off. Samsung 980 SSD 1 terabyte. This one's going to be quite a bit faster at 3,500 megabytes per second, somewhere in that round, that speed kind of range. But overall, 78 bucks right now is a good price for the Samsung 980. They came out with the 990s. They have a little bit newer model, but this is a really good model if you're just looking for a solid all like, look at the ratings here. 21,000 orders, 4.8. It looks like almost 5 stars on here. So perfect. This is the one you want to get if you just want any problems. I recommend it highly. I've used these. These are just great drives. All right, let's just keep moving, see what we can get as far as more sales here. Western Digital 2 terabyte. Now we're into some 2 terabytes. This is a good price, 109 bucks for a 2 terabyte drive right now from Western Digital. This is the green drive, so it is NVMe. It's not SATA, but it's, what is it, up to 3,200. It's going to be a little bit slower than some of the other ones because it is green drive and a little bit lower power. But for 109 bucks for 2 terabytes, this is really a real good deal. And right now, before it wasn't the best deal, but right now it's not a bad one. So, and it's Western Digital, you get that. And look at here, it's 8,000, 9,000 orders, 4.7. These are all on the 4.6, 4.7 I'm showing you. I've used one of these drives. These are great for kind of backup stuff and everything like that. So definitely think about that for 109 bucks, not a bad price at all. The next one is Crucial. I actually have that one sitting right here. You can't see it there, but there it is. This is 118 bucks. So you're getting a little bit better quality or a little bit faster. I wouldn't say better quality, but I'd say faster. This is the P3 Plus. Make sure it's the Plus model, 2 terabytes. And it's up to 5,000 megabytes per second. Again, depending on where you're putting this, it really makes a difference. So obviously, if you're putting this in a PC or something, it needs to be really fast. But if you're just using this for backup or on external storage on an enclosure, this is so much faster than you really need, even with Thunderbolt 4 enclosures. So this is going to be fine. 118 bucks, 30% off. They're claiming. I don't know if that's true, but it used to be 169. Take it with a grain of salt. You can see that one there. And let's just keep going. So here's the one that I always recommend, the best drive out there, I think, from my experience. I've tested it on at least 20 enclosures, 30 enclosures, Thunderbolt 4, and it's never broke on me. I've been taking it in and out. It just works like a solid workhorse. I have 2 of them. It's 138 bucks. You're going to pay a little bit more. It's 13% off. But this is the Western Digital Black 2 terabyte SN770. And it's just a workhorse. It's up to, 5150 megabytes per second. I've showed you on Thunderbolt 4 enclosures, this can get like 3,200 megabytes per second on there. So it's a solid drive. It gets a little hotter like some of these faster ones, but not too bad. Anyways, it's one of the ones I totally recommend because I use it all the time on my test platforms. All right, let's just keep going here. The next one is going to be kind of we're getting into the little bit better drives here. Here's the Western Digital Black. Now this is going to be the SN850X. This is kind of their cream of the crop here. 2 terabytes. You're going to be paying up for this. 156 bucks here. Still not bad per terabyte. What does that come out to? 70 something bucks. It's not the best, but it's still not the worst either. So 18% off right now, usually 189, 2 terabytes. The 4 terabytes, let's just see what that is. These are usually a bit more expensive for 4 terabytes on this. Yeah, 309. You can get one way cheaper than that, but for the 2 terabytes, I think that's actually not a bad cost right now for the SN850. Totally recommend it. Just make sure, it fits in. It has like a little bit of a heat shield on it and stuff. Just make sure it fits into whatever you're putting it into. All right, now we're going to just do a couple final drives here. So if you're looking for a 4 terabyte NVMe drive here, and it's going to be, let's say M.2 space, here it is. It's the Silicon Power 4 terabyte UD90. Again, I've used these drives, never had a problem with them. This is going to be 5,000 on the reads, 4,500 on the writes, 219 for 4 terabytes. Really good price on this thing. So, what does that come down to? Just like 50 something bucks per, and it's up to 4. Usually they get exponentially more expensive as you get to the bigger drives. It's not the case here. So you can see 219 bucks for this is a really good deal right now, 8% off. And then we're going to wrap it up with a huge 8 terabyte drive. I don't recommend buying these right now because they kind of rookie on them. So here's one though, that a good name, and I've used these before, but it's Inland. It's one of the cheaper ones. 8 terabyte performance plus NVMe internal gaming drive. Up to 7,000 megabytes per second. You can see this is an NVMe M.2, 8 terabytes, $824.99. Super expensive for what you're getting. It's, over 100 and something bucks per terabyte, but it's because it's 8 terabytes and they don't offer too many of them. A lot of the other ones I looked at are way more than this. But I would just get, if you have the room, obviously that's, over 100 bucks. I would just get 2 of these 4 terabytes if you could actually fit them in. You'd be spending about 450 bucks versus, 824 for the same amount of space. But if you need it, that's a good option there. And I just kind of wanted to wrap up the video with that. So these are some of the sales I found that are out there. I do these videos from time to time. I'm trying to kind of power through them so the videos don't get too long. But overall, I hope you guys like these. Definitely tell me of some other sales that you're finding out there. These are all on Amazon, obviously. I'll have links to all these in the description. But anywhere you can find them, post in the comments and we'll take a look at them and we'll see if the pricing starts to get a little bit better. Right now, it's not the best, but all we can do is just hope and wait and see if they come down. And let's just, I don't know. Right now, it's just a bad time to buy. We'll talk to everybody soon in the next one. Peace.